the out of the total cost of the product, 15 to 40% is the maintenance cost. So maintenance is a very important decision as far as the production of any product is needed. So let us go to the, is my slide visible? Is my slide visible?
Sorry, I am speaking on mute. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So we will see this topic of maintenance costing and budgeting. Okay. So as you can see in the slide, maintenance cost can be estimated by, so maintenance costs are dependent on some factors like how many breakdowns are there and what is the level of breakdown. Is it the breakdown has happened at the primary level or is it at the very critical level? Okay. Then you have the opportunity cost concept, which you must have learned in economics. Okay, when the machine is not available for you, it is out for maintenance, there is a breakdown, so you are losing the time with that equipment, and in that you are losing an opportunity. So how much is the downtime of the equipment for the want of repairs? Okay, and there is also uh, consumption of spare parts and equipment for every equipment. So these are the different costs which are to be estimated. So when you are talking of maintenance costing, these are the different costs. Okay, the first cost is how many times there is a breakdown and what is the opportunity lost. And because opportunity is lost, it's not only the sales which you must have lost. Sometimes you have taken an order, there is a customer who has ordered for you, and there is a due date which has we need to supply the goods, and at that time suppose there is a breakdown. So what happens is, because we have to cut a sorry face in front of customers, so there is a penalty cost also if there is a non availability of the equipment. So all these are the different costs which has to be estimated. Okay, so what are the different costs? I repeat. First one, there is a breakdown cost. Because of the breakdown happening, you are spending on the repairs, and you are spending on the consumption of spare parts and other equipments which are needed. And because of the breakdown, you have lost an opportunity for which you have to pay the penalty. Okay, so penalty is basically the opportunity loss which you are talking about here. Okay, so
Yeah.
next, we will see the maintenance costing, definition of costing basically. So what is costing? Costing is the full process of finding out the cost. Say, why do I want to find out the cost? Say, cost is nothing but how much you are spending to produce a particular good or service. How much you are spending to produce a particular good or spending. Say, I'm holding a phone in my hand, right? So I must have bought it at 17,000 odd uh, just 2 years back. Okay. So, but the manufacturer of the phone, he must have used various electronic goods and components, and he must have used some other physical components, and he has joined it, assembled it. So there were cost to each and every object which was gone into this manufacturing of phone. So, and he must have spent on the people, the labor, and he must have spent on other things, other expenditure to manufacture this phone. So per unit, how much is he spending? That is nothing but cost. Okay, that is the cost. Cost is the process of determining, the costing is nothing but determining the cost of a product or a service or an activity. Okay, so what are the different things which go into finding out the cost? Okay, it involves collection of cost. So what are the different costs? How much am I spending on material? How much am I spending on labor? How much am I spending on overheads? Okay, so you have to collect the costs. You have to collect the cost. Say, for this manufacturing of phone, they must have spent on that plastic covering. Okay, they must have spent on the various electronic components. Okay, so each and every item they are adding up. Okay, and they must have spent to pay to the labor. They must have spent to pay to the office people. They must have paid pay the rent of the premises where they're manufacturing. So all the cost, literally all the cost. So first step in finding out the cost is the collection. Okay, collection. Then what we do after collecting all the cost, we separate the costs. Okay, that is what we talk about in classifying. So first we collect the cost, then we classify the cost, and then we record the cost. We have to sum it up at the finally. And we want to find out how much is the total cost incurred. Okay, why do we need to find out the total cost? Because if we don't determine the total cost of manufacturing a product, we won't be able to fix the price of the product, isn't it? So we need to find out the total cost of the product, right? So in that, first one is we collect the cost, then we separate the cost, we put it under different heads, okay, and then we record it systematically, okay. So this is what goes into the maintenance costing, okay. So can I move the slide?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So different steps as we have discussed just now in the definition. So these are the three steps which goes into the costing of maintenance department. Okay, so here we are specifying, we are limiting ourselves only to find out the cost of the maintenance department. See, like any other department, we have a purchase department, we have sales department, we have other offices in the in our company, in our company or the entity whichever they are working. Okay, so you have a maintenance department also. So their work is only to maintain the different assets, maintain the different types of assets. Okay, so how much is the cost incurred for this maintaining this maintenance department? That is what we have to find out. Okay, as we have discussed yesterday, the total cost varies between 15 to 40% of the total cost. This is what the survey shows. Okay, across the different industries, the maintenance department cost is between 15 to 40% of the cost. Say cost of manufacturing the phone which I am holding, okay, is say 9,000. So 10,000 say. So 4,000 is gone in only maintenance department. Okay, apart from that, you have material purchase and labor and all other things are there. Okay, so maintenance department only is consuming around 15 to 40% of the cost. So what are the different steps in finding out the cost of the maintenance department? See, our objective is there is a maintenance department in the company. We have to find out how much expenditure are we incurring to maintain the department. That's all. Okay. So these are the different steps which we have. First step, as we have discussed earlier in the definition, collection and classification of maintenance cost. First, we have to collect the different cost and then classify it accordingly. Collection and classification. Then what we have to do is, see, there is a company called as ITC. You must have heard of it. Or let us say a different company, HLL, Hindustan Lever Limited. Okay. So it is into producing fast moving consumer goods, toothpaste, soaps, different items it produces. Okay. So you have a common maintenance department which takes care of all the different products. Okay, so they must be having different departments in that. Okay, if you take our college, ours is an educational institution, we have 14 different departments. We have sciences, we have social sciences, we have commerce, we have management. Okay, so there now there is only one single maintenance department, suppose. Okay, so that maintenance department is incurring, we are incurring the cost for that maintenance department because of all the different departments. Okay, so we have to, departmentalization of maintenance cost means we have to divide this total maintenance cost. Suppose 10,000 is the total maintenance cost for a month. Okay, so how much is incurred by management department? We have to segregate. How much is incurred by commerce department? We have to segregate accordingly. Okay, this is what is meant by departmentalization of maintenance cost. Then comes absorption of maintenance cost. Okay, so here we have to uh, accumulate all the different costs and find out the total cost incurred by the maintenance department. So for these are the three different steps which we will be seeing it in detail later. Okay, so first one is collection of the cost. Second one is segregation of the cost as per the department or as per the products, whatever may be. Okay. Third one is you have to accumulate all the cost. See, like sponge absorbs the water, right? It completely absorbs the water. It is not like it is being choosy in absorbing some water and not absorbing the some other water. Okay, it absorbs the entire water. Okay, so same way, absorption of maintenance cost means we have to find out the total cost which is incurred to for the maintenance department. Okay, can I move on the slide?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so let us go step by step. First step we have seen was collection and classification of maintenance cost. Collection and classification of maintenance cost. So here the maintenance costs include costs incurred on large number of maintenance activities. So what are the different activities which are included in maintenance department? Okay, what are the activities which are done by maintenance departments? So what do the maintenance department do? Basically, they hire some manpower. There are some people working in maintenance departments, and uh, some of the times they take up preventive maintenance, means before the asset is gone for repairs, before that only proactively they go and repair it. Okay, and you use different equipments or different resources are used in maintenance. Maybe you are using some lubricants, maybe you are using some material for repairs. Okay, so maybe some loose tools you are using for repairs. Okay, so all the materials which are used for repairs are also included. And cost of purchase and stores department, and you have to, when you are maintaining the maintenance department, you have to pay to the clerical staff, and all these costs are involved. And you have, when office is there, you naturally you will be spending on stationery also. You might be documenting certain things, recording certain things. You will spend on stationery, you spent on printing, you spent on computer and accessories. So these are the different costs which are involved in the maintenance departments. Okay, so all the cost has to be accumulated, and finally you have to come out with the total cost of the maintenance department. Okay, so these are the different costs. You have manpower cost, you have resources cost, you have other miscellaneous costs, you have office and administration cost, and to the people you have to give training also. So those training costs are also included in the maintenance department. Okay, are the costs clear? These
Yes,
are the
ma'am.
different costs. Yeah, these are the different costs which are involved in the maintenance department. So you have to collect all these costs. How much are you spending on each one? Okay,
Okay.
then let us see the classification of maintenance cost. Maintenance costs are classified according to different criteria. Okay, so according to nature of the cost. Okay, so nature of the cost, they are divided into five types. Basically it is three types, but here two more types are involved. They are been added. Okay, first one is the material cost, next labor cost, then overheads. Okay, let me come to, because I don't know whether costing was there earlier or not for the earlier semesters, but let me take up overheads also. Okay, here material cost is, you can see the spare parts which are required, oil which is required, lubricating oil, cotton waste, and everything that comes under material cost. Labor cost, the you need to employ some people, right? You have to pay them wages, you have to pay them overtime, you have to need to train the maintenance workers also. So all these costs are coming under labor cost. So you need material, that is material cost. You need to employ labor, and for them you are incurring some cost. And there are some costs which are known as overheads. So why they are known as overheads are, they go over our head. We don't know why they are incurred. Suppose let us take an example of in our college only. uh, you We have a watchman, okay, or we have a common office where administration staff is there. So this common people, they work for all the departments. So they take up BBS work, they will take up BCS work, they will take up BCom work, everything. Okay, if you take the example of HLL also, they have some people who are common employees for all the different products. Okay, so but point here is we need to segregate their cost to different departments. So that's why, so we what we do is, suppose there is a common lift which is used by different departments. Okay. And this lift cost, how much you are spending on the lift or how much you are paying to the watchman, that has to be segregated to different departments. So how are you segregating that cost? Okay, so you should have some basis of segregation. Okay, you should have some criteria on which you are segregating the cost. So that's why these overheads are very difficult to tackle with. That's why they are known as overheads. Okay, they go over our head. We are not, these costs are not directly assignable to a particular job or a particular product. Okay, they are common cost. So they need to be apportioned, they need to be allocated to the particular job or operation. That's why they are known as overheads. Apart from material, labor, overheads, we also have stores expenses, and we have, suppose if we are hiring someone from other outside, okay, we are outsourcing, say that job wasn't handled by us, so we are calling some technical expertise from outside and we are paying him. Okay, that is outside services. So all these are the different costs based on the nature. Okay, is this classification clear? So according to
Yeah.
nature, there are 5 types. We are spending on material, we are spending on labor, we are spending on overheads. Overheads are the common cost. We are spending on stores, we are spending on outside services. Okay. So I'll just move on to the next. Yeah. According to normality, how normal the costs are. So we have normal maintenance costs. So regularly we spend, say, if you compare it with the personal example, maybe we are spending, normally we are going for normal health checkups. Okay, so we are talking of maintenance of the human body, our body, right? We go normally to the checkups and we get our different tests, get done the different tests. That is normal costs. Okay, but sometimes some, suppose a critical disease, we are ailment has come to us, that is abnormal maintenance cost. Okay, so normal maintenance costs are the normal health checkups or normal checkups of the machines. Okay, I'm comparing it with, because human body is also a machine, right? You have different systems inside the human body. So abnormal maintenance cost is anything which is not happens, which is uncommonly happening, is abnormal maintenance cost. So this is one of the classifications. Okay, so based on the normality, they are divided into normal maintenance cost and abnormal maintenance cost. So we have seen 2 classifications so far. One is on the basis of the nature, other is on the basis of the normality. So normal and abnormal costs. Then you have on the basis of the type of maintenance action. So what is the action you are taking? Are you maintaining the machines after breakdown has happened, or are you maintaining the machine in a very planned way, preventive way? Okay, before the asset has gone for a breakdown, you are preventing that breakdown. That is preventive maintenance. If machine has broken down, then you are maintaining it. That is actually, that is repairs. Okay, that is, so that is breakdown maintenance activity. So based on type of the maintenance, they are divided into breakdown maintenance and preventive maintenance based on controllability. So there are some costs which are in our control. We can control it, we can avoid it, we can avoid it. There are some costs which are uncontrollable. We don't know the reason. Okay, suddenly some breakdown has happened and we really can't avoid it, or we don't have the scientific logic behind that breakdown. So okay, so our research and development hasn't gone to that level that we are able to identify the reason. Okay, so those are uncontrollable costs. So uncontrollable costs where you don't have a control over it, and if you have a control over the cost, those are known as controllable costs. Okay, so these are the different classifications based on different criteria. So far we have seen on the basis of nature, on the basis of normality, on the basis of type of maintenance action, and on the basis of controllability. Now, next one is according to behavior. How is it behaving? Okay, so we have fixed cost, variable cost, semi-variable cost. Okay, what are fixed cost? Okay, fixed cost, as the name implies, it is fixed. Okay, why they are fixed? Say we have a constant team members in maintenance department. We have employed them permanently. okay, to take care. Say we in our college we have a maintenance department for maintaining the computers in our college. Okay, so those to those people we have to pay regular salary. Okay, those are fixed cost. So irrespective of whether there is a problem in computers or no, we have to pay them salary. Okay, that is fixed cost. Okay, that is fixed cost. Variable cost, as the name implies, they are varying. Okay, so suppose I'm not employing fixed people, the permanent members to carry on the repairs of computers. Okay, I'm hiring the people as and when I need the people. Okay, suppose one system is under repair, I sent only that system to the workshop to get it repaired. Okay, or if two systems, so for one repair they are charging 1,000 rupees, say for example. Okay, suppose I'm sending two computers for repair, they are charging 2,000. For three, they are charging 3,000. So it is, if you draw a graph, it would be like a line which is passing through the origin. Okay, so it is a variable cost. As and when the repairs are happening, so much of cost I am incurring. Okay, so this is, so costs are behaving in a different way here. In the case of fixed cost, I have to pay irrespective of whether there are repairs or not. Variable cost, if there are repairs, I'm paying. If there is one repair, I'm paying 1,000. Two repairs, I'm paying 2,000. Three repairs, I'm paying 3,000. Four repairs, I'm paying 4,000. Okay, so this is a variable cost. Whereas there are some costs where some fixed component is there and some variable component is there. Okay, uh, like say you have the telephone bill. Okay, uh, telephone bill, suppose before we used to have this landline connection. Okay, so they used to have some rental. Okay, for using that service we used to pay the rental of say 250 rupees, and in 250 rupees we can make free calls of 100 free calls we can do. Over and above 100 calls, per call of 3 minutes they used to charge 1 rupee per call. Okay, so now I have made suppose 200 calls. 100 calls are free, right? So the fixed component is 250, and then variable component is for 100 calls I'm charged 1 rupee. So the component the bill for the using the telephone or making the calls is 100 rupees. So my total bill would have been 350 rupees. So you have, I'll be sharing the whiteboard also, that would be comfortable I think. So that, yeah, 1 minute. I have a whiteboard on my screen. 1 minute. Yeah.
Okay.
Is my board visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So fixed cost, if I see, fixed costs are fixed. Suppose cost I'm taking on y-axis, and output or say number of repairs I'm taking on x-axis, number of repairs. Okay. Irrespective of number of repairs, even if 0 repairs are there, even if 10 repairs are there, even if 100 repairs are there, I have employed the people permanently. So that cost is fixed. That cost is fixed. Can you see the line there? Yes. So these are the
Yes.
fixed cost. Okay. Then second one we have taken was of variable cost. Variable cost are varying like this. Okay. Suppose I have 0 repairs, I will be incurring 0 cost. If one repair is there, I'll be incurring say 1,000 rupees. For two repairs, I'll be incurring 2,000 and so on. So this is variable cost. So this classification is based on the behavior of cost. Behavior of cost. Okay. We had seen semi-variable cost also. Semi-variable cost has some fixed component and some variable component. Okay. So I was talking about the telephone bill. Okay, say the phone rental is 250. Okay, and say in 250, 100 calls are free. Suppose I am making 90 calls in a particular month, I have to pay only 250 bill. Okay. So till 100 calls, I have fixed. Even if I make 0 calls also, I have to pay 250. For 100 calls also, I have to pay 250 rupees. So it is fixed. Fixed. Suppose I have in a particular month, I have made 200 calls. 100 calls are free. So for how many calls I'll be charged? Totally, I have made 200 calls. Out of that, 100 calls are free. I am charged for 100 calls. 100 calls are free. I deducted. So for
Yes.
100 calls, I am charged. For 100 calls, I have to pay 1 rupee each. So I am charged 100 rupees. Okay.
Yes.
So how much telephone bill I have to pay? 250 fixed component plus 100 variable component. So this is an example of the semi-variable cost. So based on the behavior, the costs are divided into 3 categories. First one is fixed cost, second one is variable cost, and third one is semi-variable cost. So these are the different classifications. Yeah, these are the different classifications. I'll go back to the PPT. Yeah, is the PPT visible again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have seen all this. What do you mean by maintenance cost? What are the different steps? And then we have seen the different classifications. Okay. So different classifications we have seen depending on the nature, depending on the type, normality, depending on the controllability, depending on the type of maintenance action, depending on the behavior. Okay. Then some more are there. Yeah. Okay. According to impact of maintenance. According to impact of maintenance. Okay. What is the impact of the maintenance? Okay. So when we go for the maintenance, direct maintenance cost we are incurring. Okay. So for repairing, we are incurring some cost. For maintaining, we are incurring some cost. Okay. So, and apart from that direct cost, we also have say that main machine isn't available for us. Okay. So what we are doing, we are calling for a standby machine. Okay. So what is the cost of standby equipment? That cost is also there. Okay. And suppose there is some time lag, standby machine isn't available, then we have some opportunity cost. Okay. We in that repair time, we are not able to carry on with our production activity. So we have lost some that time, that opportunity we have lost. So this is the classification of maintenance cost based on the impact. So based on the impact, you have direct maintenance cost, you have cost of the standby equipment, you have the opportunity cost. Okay. Then one more last classification is based on the type of budget. Okay. So there are some costs which are included in the revenue item. So revenue and capital, how can we differentiate? How can we differentiate the revenue and capital items? Okay, capital items are something which are for more than 1 year. Okay, revenue items are pertaining to a particular year. Okay, so capital costs are, we have included this maintenance cost in our overall budget. So when we have bought the equipment, suppose the economic life of the equipment is say 10 years. Okay, at that time only we have allotted for the entire lifetime of 10 years, we will let us allot so much for the maintenance. Okay, say machines cost is 10 lakhs. We have allotted, say percentage of the 10 lakhs, that is 1 lakh. Let us allot it for the all the 10 years. That is capital cost. Okay. Apart from that, every year we have a budget for every year. Okay. If we are including maintenance cost in that particular year's cost, then that is known as revenue cost. So this is one classification of maintenance cost. So we have seen the different classifications of maintenance cost based on the different criteria, based on the behavior, based on the nature, based on the impact, based on the type of budget. Okay, so different classifications we have seen. Do you have any doubt here so far?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, so can I move ahead?
Yes.
Yes. Now the second step, we are done with the first step. So first step of finding out the cost of the maintenance department is collection and classification of cost. So that is done. Now what we are doing is, in the second step of the determining the maintenance cost, we are departmentalizing it. What do you mean by departmentalizing is, so we had taken an example of my college, right? We have 14 departments. So suppose maintenance department's cost is 10 lakhs for a year. So how much out of the 10 lakhs, how much cost will come to the MBA department? How much cost is to be borne by the commerce department? How much cost is to be borne by the sciences and arts? Okay, so we are departmentalization of maintenance costs. Okay, if you take the example of Hindustan Lever, so they have different products or different departments are there. Okay, so the total maintenance cost of the company, how they are dividing amongst the different products. Okay, this is what this step talks about. Okay, so how do you allocate? So here departmentalization done can be done in two ways, two steps. One is allocation, then apportionment. Okay, what do you mean by allocation? Say, if you get back to our college example, okay, so we use certain stationery. Okay, we get the registers, attendance registers, or chalk piece boxes or markers, which are used by our department. Okay, so say yesterday only we got some registers, some chalk piece boxes, some markers to our department. So that cost, whatever cost was incurred for the stationery, that can be directly allocated to our department, isn't it? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So that can be directly allotted. So that is known as allocation. Allocation can happen if it is a direct cost. Direct cost is uh, when you are able to relate that cost to the particular department or particular job or particular product, then it is known as direct cost. Okay, I am able to assign a particular cost. Suppose for soaps, you need some different material. For toothpaste, manufacturing of toothpaste, you require some different material. Okay, for soap you have different material cost. For so I can allocate material cost to the directly product. Okay, isn't it? So there is no confusion with me. But there are some costs which are indirect in nature, means I don't know to which product I should allot that. Okay, or I have to allot to all the products in some by using some criteria. Okay, so in my college example, I have taken the lift cost. We are spend on lift, but all the teachers of different departments must be using the lift. Okay, we have a common watchman. College must be paying salary to him, right? So that cost, which department has to bear the cost? We have to find out. So that is known as apportionment. What is it known as? Apportionment. So direct cost, we allocate. We say the word allocate. If it is an indirect cost, we say that it is apportionment. Apportionment. Okay. So apportionment of maintenance cost is also to be done. Okay. So how is apportionment done? Based on different criteria. See, according to the capital value of the asset. So higher the capital value, maybe more cost we will assign to that. Okay, based on the technical estimate or based on the production hours. Suppose some machine is being used for more number of hours, so we allot more cost to it. Okay, or actual services utilized if records are available. So these things, it is little difficult to understand. Apportionment is little difficult. Okay, or you can depend on your past experience, how much was allocated to a particular department. You can use your past experience. For direct cost, we allocate the cost. For indirect cost, common costs are indirect cost. We call it as also as overheads. For overheads, we use the term apportionment. They have to be apportioned on the basis of some suitable criteria. Okay, we don't know how much to divide the cost with. Okay, shall we divide it equally? No, you need not. Okay, soaps might be using some other. They maybe they are using more costs. Okay, or toothpaste. Maybe the maintenance costs are lesser for that. Okay, we don't know, so we have to apportionment is little difficult because some suitable criteria has to be used. Okay, is it clear? The difference between allocation and apportionment is clear?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, so we will move on. Then the third step is distribution of office and administration overheads of the maintenance department. Okay, so first step, see, there were three steps in finding out the overall cost of the maintenance department. First step we have seen was collection and classification of cost. Collection and classification of cost. Second one was departmentalization of cost. Here we have seen the terms like allocation and apportionment. Okay, third and the last step is distribution of office and administration overheads of maintenance department. So material, labor, and other costs we have seen earlier. So here we are talking of only office and of administration overheads. So it's there in the slide. Office overheads of maintenance department shall be charged to different equipment, processes, departments on a suitable basis. Again, always the apportionment, you should have some suitable basis. Suppose the common lift charges has to be allocated equally amongst the department, that is quite unreasonable because arts department is in the ground floor. They hardly use lift, isn't it? So they will say, why should we bear the lift charges because we are not using the lift only? Okay, isn't it? Now, English department is in the fifth floor. So this cost has to be allotted to that department, apportioned to that department. Maximum should be apportioned to that department because the lift, the more lift, those people are only using the more lift. Okay, so the more cost has to be borne by them. So what is the suitable basis? Finding out that is very difficult. Okay, since the maintenance overhead constitute a small portion of the total cost, it will not be advisable to follow a complicated method for their absorption because 15, suppose the overall maintenance cost is only 15%, okay, of the total cost, then we shouldn't break our head so much to find out the suitable, say, for the lift thing, how much do we spend on the lift? Okay, it's not a huge amount, isn't it? So what will happen if I divide the lift charges equally amongst all the departments? Nothing will happen. Okay, it's hardly a very small figure which is coming to each of the departments. So really hardly it matters that English department is and social sciences department, they are paying same. Okay, so you shouldn't break your heads too much on apportionment if the overall costs are less. Okay, so you find out something known as maintenance overhead rate. Okay, so suppose 1 hour I'm using the lift, how much is the charge? I'll be charged how much? You have to find, that is known as maintenance overhead rate. Okay, you need to find out that, and you need to find out the total cost of all the components of the cost sheet. Okay, so this is how you find out the cost of the maintenance department. So I'll just reiterate all the points. First step was um, collection and classification of cost. We have seen the different criteria on which costs are classified. Yeah. Then the second step was departmentalization of maintenance cost. We have to apportion the maintenance cost to different departments. Third step is we have to absorb it like a sponge, all the different costs. We have to find out and then find out how much are we spending on the maintenance. Okay. So this is how we find out the cost of the maintenance department. Okay. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Then we will move on to budgeting thing. Okay. So let us see what is budget. Budget is not a new thing. Recently, our interim budget was being released on February 1st. Okay. So budget basically gives you the plan of operations for some specific future period. Okay. The annual budget, whichever was presented by the Nirmala Sitaraman. Why it is known as interim budget now, intermediate? Because we have the national elections now, right? So that's why union elections are there. So government may change. That's why they have said that it is an interim budget. Otherwise, let it be a nation, let it be a company. Usually, budget is prepared for 1 year, for a 1 year period. Okay. So what does budget consist of? It has the estimates. It has the estimates before the period has taken place. It has the estimates like this is what we are going to spend. Okay. This is what we are going to earn this year. These are the different heads under which we are going to spend, and these are our plans. Okay. So planning is a very essential part of the management, isn't it? Planning gives you the blueprint, and budget is nothing but a plan for the future. And here the future is specifically 1 year. Okay, so you have different types of budgets are prepared for different purposes. Okay, so you have purchase budget, you have sales budget. So you have for different purpose, you have different budget. So here we are talking of maintenance budget. Okay, maintenance budget. Maintenance budget, unlike any other budget, it is little difficult to predict. Okay, because see, I can't estimate how many machines will go for a breakdown. I can't estimate what will happen to the machines. Okay, based on the my historical experience, I can estimate, but not with accuracy. Okay, so maintenance budget is little difficult to make. Okay, so for effective working of the maintenance department, it is essential to set aside certain amount of money to meet the maintenance expenditure, which is termed as maintenance budget. So we are preparing a budget based on our past and based on our technical knowledge. We are preparing a budget like this is how we are going to spend the amount on our maintenance. Okay. So maintenance budget is all about that. Okay. So I'll just move ahead. Yeah, please, anywhere you have a doubt, please you can stop me. I will repeat the topic. Okay.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Yeah. So maintenance budget is an estimate of its requirement for spare parts, manpower, consumable, and other expenses. So you're making a budget for all the things. Okay, all the things. You're maintaining a budget for material, labor, overheads. Okay, for expenses, for manpower, for materials, whatever you require. Okay. So maintenance budget based on the different criteria, they are of different types. Okay, so what are the different types of budget? Let us see in this slide. You have appropriation of maintenance budget, which sets aside money for each activity independently. So you have appropriation budget means for material, I have to use so much of money. For labor, I have to use so much of money. For other expenses, I have to use so much of money. That is appropriation of maintenance budget. Okay. Next, we have fixed budget. Fixed budget is nothing but, as the name implies, again, you have fixed allocation is made for a specific period of time for overall maintenance. Okay, so no further allocation will be done. Whatever might be, I have to use only that much amount. Beyond that amount, I am not spending. Okay, that is fixed budget. Okay, irrespective of how much ever maintenance activity is going on, in a year we are you're spending only the fixed budget, right? Then you have variable budget. What you do is, suppose you create what if scenarios. Okay, what if 20% of the equipment need correction? What if 40% needs correction? What if 80% of the machines need correction? Okay, or repairs or maintenance. Okay, so for everything you will prepare a budget. Okay, for 20% activity, how much is the amount? 40%, how much is the amount? 80%, how much is the amount? So this is known as variable budget. It is little flexible budget. Okay, then you have zero based budgeting. So what can be the zero based budget means? Zero based is, see, usually whenever budget is made, you make take the reference of the previous ones. Okay, so last year, suppose the tax rates would have been 10%, 20, 30%, or whatever may be. Okay, so we are keeping that as the basis and making some slight changes. That is known as that is not known as zero based budgeting. Okay, zero based budgeting is you are starting everything from the scratch. Okay, You don't have anything. You're taking all the details afresh. That is known as zero-based budgeting. You are not basing your decisions on the previous year. You are making everything new. That is zero-based budgeting. Okay, you are thinking, okay, fine. This is my first year of company. Okay, so how do I make a budget? I will estimate. See, based on the popularity of my product, these are these are the products which I'm going to sell. These are the things which I'm going to spend this year. These are the things which will be maintained. These are my different assets. This is how you make zero-based budgeting. So you don't have a base for zero-based budgeting. With zero base, okay, right? For the first year, if you are doing a budget, how fresh you are, it's like a writing on a clean book, clean paper. You don't have any historical information. So that is known as zero-based budgeting. So these are the different types of budgets which you have: fixed budget, variable budget, zero-based budget. Okay. Then what are the factors on which the maintenance budget depends upon? It depends upon the size of the asset. It depends on the type of construction material and what are the type of workers you have. What are their skills? Okay, how much skillful workmen you have? Okay, what is the quality of design? What is the age of the asset? When the asset is new, you require lesser on maintenance. When the asset has become old, you require more money on maintenance. What is the historical information says? How asset is used? See, you must be driving, Mr. Kalyan. So sometimes when people usually don't like to lend their car to someone else, they say that if it is run single-handedly, it will run more effectively, isn't it? So how asset is used? Who is the one who is using the asset? How many people are operating the asset? So estimate of the maintenance depends on all these things. And location of the asset, where is asset located? Okay, suppose if we are calling the people for maintenance job, how much are we spending on the commuting of the maintenance people? What is the knowledge and dedication of the staff? Availability of spare parts and quality contractors? How much, what is the type, knowledge and expectations of user? Okay, these are the different factors on which the estimate of the maintenance depending upon. Okay, so I'll just skip this slide. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Then finally you have formula for maintenance budget estimate. Okay, this is the formula. You have to see the different components of the formula here. This is how you calculate the maintenance budget. Okay, MB stands for maintenance budget. RCB is nothing but replacement cost of asset. Suppose I want to replace this asset, how much am I incurring? Replacement, RCB stands for replacement cost of asset. MR stands for maintenance ratio. Let us see what do you mean by maintenance ratio. This is a percentage of asset value which must be reinvested to decrease the deterioration. Okay. Suppose we go ahead with the same example where the total machine is 10 lakhs. Okay. Suppose after using it for 2 or 3 years, we every year or we have maintenance ratio is say 10%. So what do you mean by 10% here? Every year we have to spend 10 lakhs so that the asset's life is not coming down. Okay, we are spending on the maintenance, that is known as maintenance ratio. So what is the percentage of the asset value which is to be reinvested so that the asset doesn't deteriorate? Is that clear? I
Yeah.
come again with the example. Total asset value is 10 lakhs. Suppose maintenance ratio is 10%, means every year you have to spend 1 lakh. Every year you have to spend 1 lakh so that the asset is hale and healthy. Okay, it is healthy. It is not going down. It is not deteriorated. Okay, that is known as MR, maintenance ratio. So RCB, you have to multiply with MR. Okay, so this is one component. Second component is RCSE. There are some replacement cost. So suppose there is a big machine which has many components. Say your aircraft is there. So aircraft, how do you determine the life of the aircraft? It has many components. some components will have different lives. Okay, so one component might be 2 years old, one component might be 3 years old. So you have different components. Okay, suppose a particular component you are changing, that is known as replacement cost of production and mobile equipment. Okay, that is RCSE. Okay, that is second component of the overall cost. Third and the last component is the construction component, that is EMR into CR. EMR is equipment maintenance ratio. Equipment maintenance ratio multiplied by construction ratio. Again, how do you find out construction ratio? It is the ratio of time and material spent on renovation to the total time spent on maintenance activity. Suppose sometimes few of the floors of the building are constructed afresh. Okay, some activity is going on. Okay, some blocks are being dismantled and they are built again. Okay, so how much of the part of the total maintenance activity, how much of the time and cost you are spending on only constructing new things? That is CR. Okay, so you have this complete formula. MB is equal to RCB into MR plus RCSE plus EMR into CR. Okay, RCB is the replacement cost of the asset multiplied by maintenance ratio. Okay, plus RCSE is the cost incurred to change a particular part. Okay, plus the last component is about the construction. Middle component is about the replacement of a particular part. First component is about the overall machine. Okay, so you can remember it this way, right? So total overall maintenance budget is RCB into MR plus RCSC plus EMR into CR. Okay.
Yeah.
So with this topic is over.
Yeah, ma'am, how do I get this PDF document, ma'am?
PPT.
Yes.
I have done it from your material only.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
if
from
you
the
want me
material.
to share it, I will share it. That shouldn't be a issue.
Okay.
Okay. I'll share it, but how do I share it?
Mm.
I've taken it from the PDF which was provided to me.
Okay.
The explanations and all, anyways, it wasn't covered in the PPT.
Okay, ma'am. That is fine. In that case, that is.
So if
I will
any
go through.
explanation I'm appending to it, next class onwards, I will try to include my own explanation also in the PPT. Then
Yeah,
I'll
sure,
share
ma'am.
those PPTs. Okay,
Yeah,
but
that
today's
is fine.
PPT exclusively it was done from your material. So you don't
Okay.
have to worry. I've just copied from the material and pasted it here.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am. Yeah.
The examples which I have given, I will try to include that in the PPT from next class onwards. Sorry.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay. Something else apart from the material, I will include in the PPT.
Yeah, no, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for the response.
Okay. Thank you so much. Then we'll meet in the next class. That is the next week. Okay.
Yeah,
So
sure,
I'll be
ma'am.
having only one student. Is it every time?
Actually, I already informed to my colleagues, ma'am, but I don't know what's happening with them.
Okay. But sir told me that these are live streamed and it is recorded.
Yes.
So I think they will be able to access that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Abhiram. If any doubts are there, you can stop me and ask me also.
Yeah.
Okay. The doubt for you can be a doubt for others also. Okay. You can ask me.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.